and welcome back to another episode here at Our Food Fiesta. I'm Lindsay and today I'm doing something that I've never ever done before and it is quite exciting. Today I'm going to be attempting to make my very own homemade cheese. How cool is that? So this isn't your typical cheese, I guess. We're going to be making it from our homemade kefir. Now, if you don't know what kefir is a fermented milk drink, and I will link down below because we did make a video yesterday on how to make homemade kefir. So I'll link the video in the description below so you can check that out if you're interested. So yeah, this is going to be a homemade kefir cheese, and it's supposed to be like a cream cheese, so we're making a soft cheese for our first attempt. Apparently there are 3 different types of cheese you can make with kefir. One is the soft cheese, like a cream cheese, and the second one is, I guess, like a feta cheese, which I absolutely love feta, and I'm really excited to try that one too. And then the third one is you can make a hard cheese that you can supposedly grate. So I'm going to take it easy for my first attempt and go with the easiest one, which is the cream cheese. So let's get started. Okay, so like I said, this is the homemade kefir that I brewed yesterday. So this has been out on the countertop in the kitchen for probably about 30 hours now. And you can see that it's separated here. So what I'm going to do is sieve this through my sieve to remove the kefir grains. So all I've got here is a large glass bowl, and I've lined that with my cheesecloth, and then I've just put a sieve inside to catch all the kefir grains. Look how creamy and thick the top of the kefir is, guys. You can see some of the grains there, but look how thick that is. Look at that. All jiggly, delicious. So we're going to pour this through our sieve, and then that is going to catch all of the kefir grains, and then we'll get the kefir grains, put them in a bowl, and then we'll make up another batch of kefir to drink. So let's get on to the next step. Okay, so let's pour this through our sieve and let's catch all of those kefir grains. See just how thick it is. Whoops! I overspilled a little bit, but it's okay because there was no grains. It's a bit too much weight, I think, for that sieve. So we just let that sieve through and seal that in there. So in here you can see all of the whey in there. It's got, like, I guess, a greeny kind of colour to it. But yeah, that is the whey. So it's all separated, and we're just waiting for the kefir to seep through the sieve. I might actually just use the spoon as if I was making up a batch of kefir and just help that move through. Otherwise we'll be here for quite some time waiting for that to drain through by itself. So I'm just going to help speed up the process. You have to let us know, guys, down in the comments if you've made any kefir cheese before and how you make it. Any tips for us for making it next time? Any advice? Because we're always up for getting some helpful advice in the comments for how we can improve the things we're making for the first time. But it is fun. We've done a few new things lately that we've never done before, and it is really good, I think, to learn new skills in the kitchen, especially if you're making good quality food for your family, which I think is very, very important. So there, that is going through. It is sieving through nicely now. But this was quite a big batch, so I'm hoping to get a nice lot of cream cheese from it. That is seeping through nicely now, so I'm just going to pour in the rest. All this whey is going through now. You've got the nice thick curd in there, and then all of this whey will seep through the cheesecloth. That is the plan. If it all goes correctly, because like I said, this is the first time ever making homemade cheese. So I'm just going to scrape out, there is a little bit at the bottom still. Get that in there. There we go. Just get rid of this. Okay, so I'm just going to use the spoon again to help this go through a little bit quicker. But I think you can, I've seen some videos on YouTube, because this is where I'm getting all of this advice from, is from YouTube. I've been watching several people make kefir cheese, and they make it slightly different from each other. But this way, to me, looked the easiest. So this is what I'm going with, because I like easiness. I think as well that once it has had its straining time, and it's pretty much done, I think you can then go ahead and flavour it. So I've seen people, they put in some salt to it, some put garlic, some fresh herbs into it. So I shall wait and see, but I shall definitely be adding in some salt and maybe some garlic, but we shall wait and see. We have to get to that stage first. Fingers crossed it all goes smoothly. So I think that is just about all of it gone through now. We've just got the grains left. I'm just going to scrape any off the bottom of the sieve. That is all out. I'll show you what we've got left, what we're left with. Okay, so we've now got, that is just the kefir grains in there. Everything has been filtered through. So I'm just going to transfer these into the little bowl, and that will be topped with milk to make up another batch of fresh homemade kefir. Okay, so let's just get these grains transferred, and then I'll top that with milk. I need to put this into a jug first, and then I'll top it with milk. But for now, while I'm finishing this off, I should just pop these into the fridge. So there we go, guys. It is all been sieved through our sieve, and now that is sitting inside the cheesecloth. So I think it says in the video now I need to tie up the corners, and then I shall put a wooden spoon through it, and then it's just a case of letting it hang so all of the whey drips through, and it just, I don't know the correct terminology, but we're waiting for it to set. So I think it takes, some have said 6 hours and some leave it overnight. So we'll have to decide what we're going to do. So let's get this cheesecloth folded up. So we've got, it's quite a big cheesecloth, but I wasn't sure how much we was going to need. So I'm going to get these two corners and tie these together first. That, I'm assuming, and double knot that, and then we shall get these two corners, and I'm sure I've seen on one that you need to fold underneath that one. I'm confusing myself now, guys. Yeah. So this one, I'm going to go underneath that knot. Like that. And then we'll tie it up. I'm really nervous, but I'm excited at the same time, guys, because I've never done this before and I really want it to work. So there's that knot. Double knots. Okay, so we've got it knotted. I'm wondering if I need to tie it tighter or not, or whether that'd be okay. I might have to double check whether I'm going to have to tie this tighter or not. You have to let me know, guys. So then I think all I've got to do is put my spoon through then we need to find somewhere to hang this up so all of that whey can drip on out. But I'm going to double check whether I need to make this tighter. So just give me 2 secs and I'll be back. Okay, so I've just had a quick look on regards of how tight you should have to tie this, whether it needs to compact it in, and I can't find anything. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. I've tightened the knots slightly because we don't want it to unravel when it's hanging, but I think that is good to go. I just, oops, sieve keeps falling in. So yeah, we need to go and find somewhere to hang this up. We need to put the bowl underneath to catch any of the whey that is dripping out. Some people have said 6 hours and some have said to leave it overnight. I think we are probably, well, I might check on it in 6 hours and then we'll take it from there whether we decide to leave it overnight or not. It depends on, I guess it depends on the consistency. So yeah, so far so good, guys. I have high hopes. Like I said, if you have made this before yourself, please let me know down in the comments anything that I've done wrong or anything that I should be doing or any advice for future cheese making with kefir. So let's go and get this hung up somewhere. So we are improvising here, guys. We have got our very own makeshift cheese hanging station. We don't have any doorknobs on any cupboards for this to hang off like we've seen on pretty much all the videos that I've watched on making cheese. So we are improvising. We've got 2 large bread loaf tins, and then on top we have got mason jars, and then we have got our wooden spoon balanced on top of those. It's working though, look. It is dripping, which is good. I'm just hoping that this does not get knocked over in the day, or the dogs don't jump up to have a sniff and knock it over, because that would not be good. So this is our makeshift cheese hanging station, and fingers crossed it all works. So we will check in on this in 6 hours time. It has been a good 24 plus hours since we've hung our cheese up. There was no good checking it at 6 hours because the whey was still dripping out of it loads. So it's probably about 26, 28 hours since we made this. And there has been no liquid coming out of this for quite some time now. So I think it is ready, guys. One thing I did have to do last night was I had to re-tighten the knots on the cheesecloth, because where it was hanging down there was getting gaps, and it's been quite hot here lately and the fruit flies are out and about and they were starting to land, and I didn't want to risk them getting inside. So I did undo this and give it a good tighten up, and fingers crossed there's no fruit flies in there, because they have been all over the cheesecloth today. So also the dogs did try and get it last night. The smell was too much for them. All the way that we had a big glass bowl, and it was pretty much over 3/4 full, the bowl was, and the dogs were trying to get up to the bowl. So we ended up dividing all the way between the 3 dogs last night, and they absolutely loved it. So they've got all the goodness from the whey. So this bowl is being overnight and there is literally nothing in there. So what we're going to do now is untie it and take a look. Let's get this undone and take a look. It's exciting. It is smelling like cheese. I can smell it. It's quite strong smelling cheese, which I don't mind. I like a strong cheese, so it's a bit tight, but we're getting into it. Yes, it is very strong smelling. Hopefully that no fruit flies have got in. Doesn't look like it. So, wow, look at that. We have cheese, guys. Let's give you a closer look. Look at that. I have just given my hands a good wash. Let's have a feel. It's actually quite thick. I was expecting it to be a lot softer for cream cheese, but it is actually fairly thick, which I'm not complaining about. But I wonder if, because some people say now to add it to a pot and then you can add some salt and mix it through. So I wonder if by stirring it, it will soften it. But let's just pick up one of these. It is quite crumbly actually, a little bit like, oh, it's a mixture between, it's in between feta and a ricotta. It's not as hard as feta. That is what I would like to make next time with this. But I'm happy with that. It is quite strong smelling. And I don't know whether to leave this just plain to try for the first time or add in some salt. But I do like salty cheese. I might have a little taste and then decide. Take a tiny bit and have a taste. Tyler, did you want to come and taste any of this before we add any salt?
Okay. How's it taste?
Cool. It's very strong. It reminds me of goat's cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Take a crumb off them. The little fruit flies are trying to get to it. It's got like a slight sour taste to it. Mm-hmm. Have you ever tried goat's cheese?
No.
It's very strong cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think a little bit of salt I'm going to add into this.
Yeah.
But I'm really impressed. I'm just going to have another little small bit. That on some crackers.
Yeah.
That would be lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm going to put this into a bowl and add in some salt, I think, because these little fruit flies are getting everywhere, so I want to hurry up and get this done. I'll just cover this over while I go and get a pot. So I've just got a glass bowl to put this in, a little spatula to help scrape it out. But yeah, I'm really chuffed with this, guys. I will definitely be making this again, and I'm sure the family are going to enjoy it too. I think I don't know whether to add any garlic or whether to keep the first batch plain and then experiment next time, because we get so much kefir. We'll be making this a lot now, I think. Now I know how easy it is, guys, to make fresh homemade cheese. I will be doing this a lot, and I definitely want to be experimenting because I love feta cheese and I would love to make some feta. And also apparently you can make a hard cheese, so again, that is something else I'd like to try. Again, if you do make kefir cheese, any of you, please let me know any suggestions or any tips of how you make it or how you think I could improve making it for next time, because I'm all up for learning new techniques in the kitchen and being more self-sufficient at home, making foods that are not got loaded with rubbish that you buy in the shops. I want my food as natural and as untouched as possible if I can. And what a fantastic thing to do, making my own cheese. That is so cool. So I just want to scrape as much off as I can. I don't want to waste any. I've heard it is a bit of a pain cleaning the cheesecloths afterwards, and I think you're supposed to soak it in the sink in water before washing. That's why people say not to squeeze it in the cheesecloth, because then it all does get gaggled inside all of it, making it really, really hard to clean. So I'm just using the spatula just to scrape off as much as I can. See if I can scoop this up. I don't want to waste any of it. But yes, I would say that this tastes very similar to goat's cheese. It is quite strong tasting. It has got the little sourness to it like you do in the kefir, but I don't mind. I think once we add some salt to this, it is going to be delicious. So I think that is about done. I'll get that soaking in some water in a moment. Okay, so look, we've made quite a lot as well. Got all of that cheese. So let's add in some salt and then we'll give it another taste test. I've got quite a lot there, so I think I'm going to give it 2 pinches and we'll give that a mix. Yeah, the weather has been really hot here and the fruit flies are out in force. So I'm glad that I did take the time to check the cheesecloth last night and tighten it up, because I think it would have been full of them this morning. That wouldn't have been good. So it is softening up a little bit while I stir it, but it is still holding, it has still got quite a firm texture to it, which is going to be good, I think, for spreading onto crackers and things like that. I have to have another little taste test. Tyler, did you want to come and taste it now? It's got some salt added.
Yeah.
Do you know what texture this reminds me of?
What?
In England, you've got that cheese called Borsan, which we have at Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember it's in a white box and then it's wrapped in foil and then it's got all the green flecks, all the garlic. It's the garlic soft cheese.
Oh, yeah.
And it's kind of round in a little square box.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have it at Christmas.
I think I know.
Borsan.
Yeah.
That is like the texture of it, guys. Look at that. Right. Take just a tiny bit off with your... Let's see what it's like with the salt.
Oh, yeah, I think that's better.
Oh yeah. That is really good.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Dad's gonna love this. We might have to hide this from Dad. That is really, really good. And I think, do we add some garlic to it?
That would be nice.
It would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But do we add fresh garlic or garlic powder? Oh,
I don't know if you just have to. Yeah, I don't know if you have to add garlic powder, but I don't know. Fresh garlic.
because this isn't going to last long, is it? We're going to eat this pretty quick, I think. So
Yeah.
maybe I shall grate up some fresh garlic in it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Let's just double check whether you can add fresh. I don't see why you can't add fresh garlic. Let's just double check before we do add anything to it. Actually, do you know what, guys? We've decided that for our first batch, we are going to leave it just with a bit of salt in there. And then maybe next time, when we make up another batch, we will experiment with some flavours then, because I think that would be a fun video of creating different flavours to try. So this, guys, look at it. Our very own homemade soft cheese. Our first ever attempt, and I'm super, super chuffed with that. It is tasting delicious. If you like strong cheese, then you are going to like this. It is fantastic. And like I said, it does remind me of the texture of Borsan cheese. But obviously the Borsan has the garlic in, but this one we've just got a bit of salt, but the texture is exactly the same as Borsan. And that is one of my favourite cheese, especially at Christmas time. We always stock up on Borsan and have it with crackers because it is delicious. So what do you reckon, guys? Are you going to have a go? Let me know if this has inspired you to have a go at making your very own cheese, because I'm so surprised at how quick it was, and it didn't really take much effort at all. And if I can do it, then you can too, because I am no cheesemaker. Well, I guess I can call myself a cheesemaker now, Tyler.
Yeah.
First time cheese making, and it has turned out fantastic. So, soft, well, it isn't soft, guys. This is a cream cheese, but it is a fairly thick cream cheese. This is going to be awesome on crackers or inside sandwiches, or even if you have a jacket potato with chili and then put a dollop of this on top. That is going to be delicious. Okay, so I am super, super pleased with how that has turned out. I'm going to put the lid on it before the fruit flies get to it. I'm going to pop it in the fridge, and then I'm going to call the rest of the family and get them to try it. And hopefully, fingers crossed, they will like it. I don't see why not, because in my opinion, that is delicious. So, thank you so much for joining me on my first time making homemade cheese. I've definitely learnt a lot, and I hope that it has inspired you to maybe attempt making your own cheese at home too. And also, if you have never heard of kefir or have never made kefir, then I will leave a link to our previous video where it shows you how to make kefir. Kefir is a fermented milk drink made from the kefir grains, and this is what we've made our cheese from, kefir. So it's a great way to utilise and use up any kefir that you may have left over. So thanks very much for joining me. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day and spending it with me in the kitchen. And I hope you have a fantastic day. And I will see you all next time. Bye.